Welcome back to Thoughts Over Coffee, where a couple of thoughts share our thoughts over coffee. Topics will include BPD,
That's me.
autism,
That's her.
ADHD,
That's both of us.
and honestly, anything else our troubled little brains come up with that day.
It's true.
Today we are covering a little bit of uh, PTSD in a neurodivergent brain,
hmm
as well as maybe a little bit of fun events that have happened.
Yeah, some culture stuff because we also do dating and culture. Got one cool culture thing and one PTSD thing to cover.
Huzzah! All right. Well, Sassy, do you want to go first with what you did for your fun culture event?
I went to Songkran Festival here in Bangkok. I do have a video about it on my channel, and it was the craziest thing I've ever done in my life, maybe. It was fucking wild. So, Songkran Festival is pretty famous. People paint each other with like chalk, this kind of like clay. Maybe it's clay. I always thought it was chalk, but now that I've felt it on my body, I think it's clay. And
Hmm.
then get in a gigantic water gun fight in the streets. And by gigantic, I mean truly gigantic. I mean just thousands, thousands and thousands of people. Wild.
Now, did you get super like itchy whenever I've had like mud or clay on me or paint when it hardens? It gets very like and it affects me, and I
Oh.
must take it off immediately.
No, because I was so wet all day. The clay did not stay. I think if you go into more like traditional Thai areas, the clay is going to stay on your face a lot longer because people, Thai people are more respectful than the tourists, so they tend to like paint your face with clay. They ask you first, and you agree, and then they
Aw.
paint your face very gently, and then you can do it back to them. And then they just use little cups of water that they kind of put down your back or on your body. They don't dump it on your face. But if you
Mm.
go to the big party area and you take part in like the massive fucking party that
Mm.
this is, you're just doused with water from all directions and always. Yeah.
Fun, fun for some
Crazy.
people, maybe not for others.
I am
Depending.
glad I did it. I
Mhm.
probably won't do it again. I'll go to the more chill locations next time.
That's fair. The
Mhm.
amount of people was very overwhelming.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. I just I've seen videos, like I've seen photos and videos of this, so I knew how many people, but being in there in like the thick of it, in just the throngs and the crowd is
Mhm.
something else. And very luckily, going with my boyfriend made it fun,
Yeah.
right? I think if I was just with friends or I'm by myself, I think I'd have checked out real quick. I'd have been like, I cannot do this. Or
Fair.
even with friends, I would have been kind of like overstimulated. But having a partner that you're super in love with and like everything with them is fun and exciting, and you're in that super honeymoon phase, it's like, I don't know, it's fun. Even when it was bad, it was fun.
Even when it was bad.
Yeah,
Fair.
some people use like ice water, like just the most frigid ice water you can imagine. So sometimes you just
Oh.
get this like shot of ice just directly onto your body somewhere, and you're like, Jesus, fuck. So, yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
good.
If it was a really hot, sunny day, I think I wouldn't have minded the ice water, but it was overcast. So,
Uh,
got kind of cold. Got very cold.
well, you do
Just
have the thin blood now. You don't have the thick Alberta cold blood.
Yeah. My blood, it's so thin now.
So thin. No more
No,
thick warmth.
yeah, I don't got the warm blood no more. I'm a
Oh.
fucking reptile now. I'm cold-blooded. It was cold and just, if it's overcast, even if you don't have the thin blood, if you are constantly getting dumped on by freezing water,
Mhm.
because in the moments when you weren't dumped on by freezing water was okay. Like you'd warm up, you'd be moving, you're around people, you're like, this is fine. And then you'd get hit with another bucket of frozen water. And you're like, I'm going to murder you. Yeah.
And is it like, just because I don't know it, is it just literally just walking around in mud and then getting water on you? Is that
So we went to a couple different locations. The big party is in Ceylon, and that's where like the throngs and the crowds of people are. And that's not Thai people, it's tourists. It's people from
Mhm.
all over the world. I'm sure there's some Thai people too, but it's generally like where all the tourists flock.
Mhm.
So there was no painting there. There was none of the clay painting or whatever it is. Um, and my boyfriend thinks that might be because it's not legal there. They have different rules in different places.
Oh,
Some
okay.
people were still selling it because it's Thailand. When things are not legal, they're not legal,
Mm.
right? But you
Okay.
didn't see people painting each other. It's just so many people just fucking sardine through. So they closed down the road, right?
Yeah.
And it is a massive road. We're talking like, I think minimum 3 lanes each side closed
Okay.
down with like the train that goes above. Like it's a huge main thoroughfare that they just closed down for blocks. And so you shuffle all the way down with a bunch of people and you can stop at like beer gardens or malls or for food on the side or buy
Hmm.
things like all sorts of stuff. And then just get sprayed with water everywhere and then shuffle back up the other side if you want. But I think it's just even if it was legal, it's just not a place where it's easy to paint people. It's just too busy.
Okay.
But we did stop at a beer garden because I really enjoy I'm not like a dancer, but I enjoy bassy music in like
Yeah.
feeling it vibrate through my body.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like to just kind of move, like move in place. I'm not a dancer, but I like to move and feel like oof oof in my body. So we
Yeah.
stopped at a beer garden to do that for a while. And luckily it's like kind of in like the area of a mall. So
Okay.
you go inside and use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Now, like, I'm wearing a bikini and then elephant pants. So no
Mm.
top, right? Just a
Yeah.
bikini and then elephant pants. And you're soaking wet.
Mm.
You're soaking wet. The air conditioning in Thai malls is so strong that I think
Nope.
even if I was dry and in like a sweater, I'd freeze if I walked into there. And the fucking bathroom was not on the first floor. It's on the second floor, up and into a corner, and then you have to wait in the line of people waiting for it, and you're just like, I am going to die here. So
Why didn't I
cold.
bring a sweater?
It wouldn't have
Although,
helped. It would have been soaked.
yep, everything would have been wet unless you had it in like a bag, waterproof bag.
Yeah. And you can buy little waterproof bags for your phone and stuff, which I didn't think about because my phone is waterproof, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so water resistant now. They're basically waterproof. So I
Mhm.
wasn't worried about it, but he's got an older like an iPhone or something, so we had to buy like a little plastic. It's just
Yeah.
like a little clear plastic thing you buy for 40 baht, which is a dollar and some cents Canadian. So you carry that around with like your phone and your money and stuff. And I was just like, oh, I'm just straight up filming, and like people were shooting my phone because I'm filming with the water guns. And it's fine, you know,
Right.
phones these days. But yeah, that was freezing. But then we bought a bunch of street food. It was delicious. God, so good. The food here is so good. I don't know if I could ever live in Canada again, actually, just from the food.
Fair. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many. I'm assuming in Thailand they do too, but in China and stuff, they have the little food stalls that have Michelin stars because all they've been doing is perfecting the one dish for years and just making this one dish perfect. So I couldn't
I'm
imagine being.
sure there's some Michelin starred places in Thailand, but the it's just that every little food stall you go to is
Mm.
like the best tasting food you've ever had. And
Mm.
most of them are not even on Google. Like it's just normal here to not to just walk around and buy food. So if you're looking
Yeah.
for restaurants in your neighborhood and you're searching, most of them are not going to come up. You're better off just walking and looking.
Yeah.
And, the little like food carts and stuff, it'll be like $1 for whatever you buy and it'll be fucking delicious. Yeah. That would be hard to go back to for sure.
Fair. Fair.
So yeah, that was like the crazy, crazy area. And it was so crazy. And then we also went to Khao Road, which is like a crazy party area every other day of the year, every other time of the year.
Oh,
And
okay.
then for Songkran, they also kind of like section off a different road and open it up, and you can walk down and do a bunch of like Songkran stuff. But it was not where most of the tourists go to Silom because that's the crazy, crazy.
Oh.
So Khao San was busy, but it had room to walk around
Hmm.
and a ton of people doing like the chalk painting and stuff. So we got painted up and immediately washed off, and painted up and immediately washed off. Yeah, it was
Fun.
awesome. It was a giant bubble machine. Did you see
Oh.
that in my video? Yeah.
All the bubbles.
It like exploded a wall of bubbles. It like went back and forth and just exploded this bubble wall at people. It's like, I want to be hit by the bubble wall.
Ah, I always wanted to do like go to one of those raves that had the bubble machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've so many people have been like, "Oh, it would be such a nightmare. You don't know what you're stepping on. Da, 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 da. It would be so dirty on the ground." And I'm like, "But bubbles."
But also,
Fine.
this is why I wear shoes. I don't under
That too,
I'm
right?
not I'm not walking on bare feet in the club.
Yeah. I think I think it was someone here that was talking about like a bubble rave and was complaining about like they were like, "Oh, it would just be so like you don't know what you're stepping on. It would be so dirty. I would never do that." But it's because everyone in Thailand just wears sandals, like open sandals all the time.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, but I wear shoes. I'm fine."
I wear shoes.
Mhm.
I like protecting my feet.
Yes, I don't like to have them exposed. I have a weird anti-foot bias. I don't like feet. I don't like to look at them. I don't like people to look at my shoes and socks
Also,
all the time.
like, more power to people who can, but when you're walking in the sandals and they just have the really horrible calcified dry heels that are like cracking and stuff. I just no.
Oh, like the foot, like somebody's foot when they're all
Yeah.
fucked. I thought you meant
Yeah.
the sandals were turning into that. I'm like,
No, 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 the
horrible.
foot. The person's like their
Okay.
foot is just all cracked and
Yeah.
icky looking. I can't do
Mhm.
that. Like, no.
Yeah. I
The
walk
amount
a
of no.
lot, so I get big calluses too.
Mm,
And one time I had issues with, that like it would start to crack. It would hurt.
yeah,
It
because it's
hurts
like
so bad.
cracking down to the good skin beyond, and then it's like now you can get an infection, and then you can get like, no, I'm good. Mm, mm,
Mm,
mm, mm, mm.
mm,
Just take care of
mhm,
your feet. Your feet are
mhm.
very important.
I do need them for walking, and I enjoy walking. But I also understand why Thai people wear sandals always. Like, not just
Mhm.
the convenience of it in a very hot country, but there's floods. Like, the rains here just cause
Yeah.
immediate flooding. And I have been in that situation with my shoes where I stepped in the floods and I was just like, ah, don't like this.
Yeah, because
Looks
then you
very
got the wet
dirty.
sock and the wet
It's
foot and the
it's
swoosh.
just not clean. But I have heard that in the countryside, Songkran is a lot more chill, and I'd like to experience that next year. But I'm very happy I did the crazy this year.
I couldn't. I couldn't. After the one story of what is it that happened in Korea or something with
Yeah.
all the people smushed into like the one area and the people just more people kept coming and they kept all getting smushed in there. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't.
I thought that was like a concert in America and people died.
No. Well, there may have been yeah, there was a concert in America that happened too. But in Korea, it was a thing where there was just, I'm pretty sure it was Korea, and it was just people would come into this area and it just, they
Mhm.
couldn't get out and they're just, yeah, nope.
I mean, this is you can get out,
Yeah.
there's no Like, it's not an enclosed space, it's a street.
Mhm.
They just
Yeah.
blocked it off for cars, but all the businesses on the side are open,
Mhm.
um, and even the divider in the middle, like, they just put up they want people to go in one direction each way, which
Yeah.
makes sense, otherwise it would be chaos. So, to block the middle off so people can't cross over, they just put up, like, those, like, metal rails, but you could hop those no problem if you needed to.
Mhm.
And yeah, all the businesses on the side are open, the streets are open at the ends, and all the traffic is going only one way, so you wouldn't really have to worry about that.
Yeah.
The only time it got really, like, shuffly is because at the start there are, metal detectors you go through,
Ah.
which are not monitored by anyone.
Well, who's gonna
So
if it beeps, who stops you? Is it
it
other
beeps
people
for
around you?
everyone. It
Oh,
beeps for everyone. We've all got phones and shit on us. Like, it's there
okay.
this Thailand.
Go
So,
through this thing, but nobody will stop you.
yeah, no.
Monkey.
At Khaosan, there were metal detectors, and there were actually were they police officers or soldiers? They were police officers.
Mm.
There were actually police officers there. It was like a proper, like, tent like we have going into, whatever, Stampede and stuff in Canada.
Yeah.
And so they were like proper tent and there was a few police officers. So I think if you look suspicious or you're carrying a big bag, they'd be like, "Oh, let's see the bag." But
Mhm.
I had my phone and he had the clear and that's what most people carry around, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be carrying a bunch of shit to this festival. You don't.
Not if you're just gonna get wet constantly. Like,
Yeah. And it's too busy. It's too overwhelming. You just don't want to carry shit.
yeah.
And so Thailand's just a funny place. Very interesting and funny place. So there's also metal detectors you have to go through at most of the SkyTrain or metro stations, like the subway
Okay.
and stuff. So you buy your ticket, you go through your little metal detector, get in line to buy your ticket, or you buy your ticket and then you go through metal detector. And there's often someone standing there. And the metal
Okay.
detector goes off for every single person, and everybody's got big bags and stuff. And the person who's standing there does nothing. They just stand there. They're like security or a police officer, and they're just existing there.
I wonder if they're, like, looking for how a person reacts when it goes off, and depending on how they react, they're supposed to then do something or
So I don't know,
Hmm.
but it does nothing. And these were implemented because there was a shooting somewhere in Thailand. I can't remember why. A year or two back, there was some sort of act of terrorism. It was a shooting or stabbings or something that happened. I think it was on the train or at a station. I
Mhm.
don't know. Like one incident. And so they were like, okay, well, let's implement like metal detectors at every station. So they just put them there
Yeah.
and that's it. They didn't, there's no like
Yeah.
checking, there's no nothing. They're just like, okay, done. Very Thailand style. Like,
We did
okay.
the thing. We're more secure now.
So, but yeah, Songkran was cool. So, highly, highly recommend coming to Thailand to check that out because you will never experience anything like it anywhere in your life.
There you go. Sounds good. I would never go, but that's just me.
That's fair.
Nope. Too many people for my little brain. My brain would just twitch out and then smoke would be coming out of my ears and yeah.
I could see
Yep.
how that could happen.
Yep.
Like I said, though, if I wasn't super in love with my partner, I probably would not have enjoyed it. But because I'm with somebody that I'm just like, this is fun, I enjoyed it a
Mhm.
lot. And also, like I said, craziest thing I've ever done. And he's just like, this is normal. It's just normal.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
like, I'm like, Thailand is not a normal place, sir. like, like
It's
we
not normal
don't,
for me.
we don't have things like that in Canada,
No.
which shocked him when I said that because he's like, well, you don't have anything like this. I'm like, Not even
No.
close.
Like, we have what is it? You go to, like, the convention centers for the different things, but and even in the summertime, we'll have night markets and stuff, but
But
it's not
we have all
like
those
that.
here too, and they're
Yeah.
also crazier. The only thing I could think it would be remotely close to would be a music festival, like a big
Okay, yeah, yeah.
rave,
Yeah.
but we also have those here.
Mhm.
And this is different, this is like it's just like nothing I've ever experienced. But he's like, "This is just normal." I'm like, "Okay."
Not for me.
Like, "This is the craziest thing I've ever done," and he's kinda giggling at me because he's just like, "I've done this, like, every year of my life." I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
You Yep, that's okay. At
Mhm.
least that means he was, like, calm, which probably, like, calmed you down if you were getting, like, anxiety or anything.
I didn't really get any anxiety. I could tell he got it at one point when we were at the beer garden. I think the music was too loud, and I don't think he does
Fair.
well with that.
Yeah.
Versus for me, I'm like, yeah, it makes me deaf, but I'm here for like the vibrating.
Yeah.
But I could tell after a while of there, he was a little bit like, ah, this is a lot. She likes
Yep.
this, I guess. So he like just dealt with it. But we got him a beer, so that helped.
Oh, there you go. You're like,
It
"Please just relax for a second."
Mhm. Like, help. This alcohol will help. He's such a lightweight because he doesn't partake in shit. So
Yeah.
one beer will get him right buzzed. Mhm.
Oh,
He's
dear.
very cute. But
Oh well, yeah. Oh, no, I just, like pretty much that's probably what happened to me, but that's also because I don't drink, so
yeah, he like never drinks too.
Yeah.
And but at Songkran, like with everything going on and all the energy we were expending, how exhausted we were, it didn't really get him buzzed, but it probably helped him like deal with
Yeah.
that area. But one time we went out for dinner and he had like one beer, and then the whole walk home he was like, "I'm like a little buzzed boy." I'm like, "Okay, cheap date."
Right? Cheap dates are good. That's awesome. I actually did stuff this weekend.
Ooh, tell me about your weekend.
I know. I actually did things. Um, went to the movie The Amateur. It was very good.
Sure.
It was
Mm.
very good. It was I can never say his name correctly. Remy Malek? Remy Malek?
Oh, uh,
The Mr.
Rami
Robot.
Malek or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Mr. Robot guy who was also in he was Freddie Mercury, the Bohemian Rhapsody dude. Yes.
that was a good
So
movie.
him and Lauren Fishburne doing CIA
So,
stuff. So that was really fun. I'd say
oh,
like 4 stars.
okay. Out of
4
5.
out of 5. Yes.
Okay.
Not out of
4 out of
10.
10.
No. If it was out of 10, I'd probably give it like a good 8.5 to not like 8.5, maybe 9.
Really? I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, 8.5. It was good. I liked it. I liked the fact that I'm so tired of these movies that constantly repeat what's happening all the time because people are so focused on their phones that
Oh, the Netflix style.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Netflix style, how it's just like, oh, we're gonna repeat the same thing over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Or any of the new Disney stuff it's just meh. It's all meh. So
Has there
I
been
don't
new Disney stuff?
know. Oh, yeah, there was the Snow White one, and then before that was the
Oh,
Mufasa.
I haven't seen that yet. Yeah.
Don't watch the movie. If Mufasa was just so convoluted,
Oh.
they just nobody wants to do simple story. They have to add all this extra garbage into it, and it's just terrible.
Well,
So
speaking of simple story,
yeah.
the Minecraft movie.
Oh, right. You said it. You said you went, and it was actually good.
I really enjoyed it.
There you
I
go.
really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun and stupid, and it was taking the piss out of itself the whole time, which I love,
Yeah,
right? Because if
I
it's
think that's
stupid and it's not supposed to be, that's different.
hmm. That's also kind of like Jack Black style, though.
Jack Black was perfect in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the Minecraft movie was funny for me because of Jack Black. I think if
Ah,
anyone else had been in that role, I would have been pretty like, okay, that was very bland. But
Mm.
he's just yeah, he just made it. He was like, I'm gonna go full Jack Black on this one, and he just went full Jack Black. More, he was more Jack Black than I've ever seen Jack Black before. Yeah,
Awesome. I love it. It's
you
kind of
haven't
like
seen
when
it?
no, I haven't seen it, but that's also because I don't ever want to go to a theater with that many children
Oh, there were no
ever.
children. Yeah,
I'd rather just wait and then I'll watch it at home.
yes, that's
And
fair.
there's no children
Yeah,
because I I can't. That's why I go to the VIP theater, so there's no children.
yeah. We went to like, yeah, an early showing at Major Rashayotin. There were like 10 people in the theater.
Hmm. No
Yeah,
chickens. I think. Did you
my
break?
yeah. Sorry, I don't know why that short circuited my brain, but I turned off.
I'm like, no chickens, bro, frozen. I'm like, are we lagging?
I was buffering. I don't know why. I couldn't compute what you had just said. I
Oh,
don't know why. Why did that confuse me? Because that it's like two different thoughts started fighting in my mind and both jammed in the door. And one of them
fair.
is the obvious Minecraft reference. And
Yep.
then the other one is something else my brain doesn't understand right now.
Oh.
I
Yeah, I was
must
just going off of all the videos online of people bringing actual chickens to the theater.
Oh no, I don't know that.
Yeah, they actually some dude brought a chicken and then he was like on the shoulders of some or the chicken was on the shoulders of somebody else and there's popcorn everywhere and the chicken's just like
That sounds kind of fun.
which
Like
actual chickens.
kind of crazy but fun. Like don't do that. I'm not condoning that behavior, but also I feel like if that happened to me at the theater, I would be so hit by the what the fuck stick that I wouldn't be upset. Right? I would just be like, "Oh, fucking chicken."
Be concerned about the poop aspect, like how much the chicken is going to the bathroom in
I
there.
mean, yeah, for the fact of like the theater people and cleaning up, but I think like I don't know. I see a lot of content of people keeping chickens just in their house like a house pet now.
Not healthy though. You if it's pooping in your house, you breathing
I
in
I don't
chicken
know
poop.
anymore. I feel like it might be one of those things where my image of chickens is tainted from growing up countryside and us keeping them outdoors and raising them for meat and eggs, right? And
Mm.
now, like, I see all these people keeping them inside, and it just seems like maybe it's another one of those animals that I'm just like, oh, that's dirty because we kept them in dirty conditions. I don't know.
I don't think you should be breathing chicken poop
But I mean,
in.
it's like it might be like rabbits. When I was growing up, it was not knowledge that you could that rabbits were litter trainable. And
Really?
everyone I ever knew
Oh.
who had pet rabbits, those rabbits shit and pissed all over their fucking house. I had a friend growing up that had pet
Oh.
rabbits, and her room was just like rabbit shit and piss always.
No,
And
my aunt had rabbits and they were litter trained.
but this was not like common knowledge like it is now, where everyone who has a
Uh,
pet rabbit now is like, yeah, we have it litter trained. I've met many people where they're like, oh yeah, it's a rabbit, so it just poops everywhere. And that was my knowledge of
mm.
rabbits up until finally I was like, what do you mean litter train them?
Yeah.
Like that took me later into adulthood because I'm not a fan of rabbits. They just
Fair.
don't do it for me. So it took me quite a while to find that out. And so seeing these people with their chickens in the house and they've got these beautiful pristine houses and I'm just like maybe chickens don't poop as much when they have like a structured living environment, that maybe they get fed structured meal times instead of just constantly picking food, you know, like there could be knowledge here I'm not aware of.
Eh, I don't know. I lived on a chicken farm and we fed them twice. Like they got food, the seeds and stuff, and
Yeah, but
where
they were
the
always
coop was,
picking,
and
right? They'll eat bugs, they'll eat the dirt, they'll eat
yeah,
stuff, they'll eat each other. Um, yeah, I just don't know. I feel like there might be more different knowledge about keeping chickens differently than what I grew up with. In the same way I wrote off rabbits completely. Still don't like them.
huh.
Even though so much information out there now is like, yeah, rabbits are really clean, good house pets. I'm like, yeah, I remember them being covered in piss. Don't like them.
Well, I mean, what is it? My one friend, when she had the male rabbit, he would do that, but it was more like a marking thing when we were going to
Mhm.
go out. But then once she got him fixed, he stopped that completely. So it's just a fixed thing,
But
you know,
this is what
balls
I
versus
mean, right?
balls.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. Could be. Birds are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. I just don't know. I mean, we used to play chicken pucky. Did you ever play that? You ever had that? Like we had chicken pucky games at family reunions.
I don't know what that is.
You bet where the chicken will shit.
Oh no, never did that.
Okay, so you have
Oh.
like a feels so countryside. You have a great big board, like fence, completely fenced off thing that the chicken is
Okay.
in that it can't get out of, and the squares all have different numbers. So it's like E10 or
Yeah, like
whatever, and
bingo, but with
yeah,
chicken
and you
poop.
place
Yeah.
bets on where the chicken will shit, and then everybody waits for the chicken to shit, and then you win money.
Nope. Never did that. Nope.
I loved chicken pucky when I was a kid. I was like, this is the most fun thing ever. Will there be chicken pucky there? And now I'm like, that's not a normal thing for people, right?
Just have, ooh, that could be a good way is for you to do like underground gambling in Thailand. Just be
Instead
like,
of
who wants to
fight,
play?
instead of chicken fighting, it's just chicken shit.
Put money on this one. Where's
No,
it gonna land?
but yeah, the Minecraft movie was fun.
That's good.
hmm it
Yeah,
just yeah, it's as stupid as you expect it to be, but it knows it's that stupid. So I liked it.
fair. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because apparently Valkyrie was supposed to be in it. Like she had a cameo or something. And then she said something bad about one of the actors and then she got cut out or something. So,
Oh, oh, I didn't
yeah.
hear about this. What do you
Yeah,
remember?
she said it on her podcast. She said something like Jason Momoa treated the crew poorly.
Oh,
Like he was not nice. So then she's just like, yeah, he wasn't a nice guy to the crew, which is sad.
she should have waited to say that until after the movie was out. But yeah.
So
Well,
anyway, so then she's not in it, and it's like, oh, that sucks.
yeah, that's a
But
little.
it's
Hmm.
sad on both parts. Sad on Valkyrie for, not being there, but then also sad because I thought he was a nice guy,
You
but
never know. You just never know with
yeah,
celebrities until you hear about it from, something like that.
nonce. I went to Speeders for the first time.
Ooh,
Oh
the
my gosh,
go-kart, right?
did you ever go to the go-kart place?
No, I've never done go-karts.
Oh, what is it? So there's one in the north end, and then there's one kind of centrally.
Mhm.
So went to the one centrally because it was just easier to get to.
Yeah, yeah.
And holy crap, they have, what is it? They had two giant racetracks and then a bunch of arcade video games and then laser
Oh, really?
tag. And yeah, they had laser tag, mini golf, axe throwing, virtual darts, and bowling. There you go.
Wait, 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 wait. So you're allowed to throw real axes, but only virtual darts.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep. 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 And that was really fun. I had a blast. It was very scary the first time you do it
Mhm.
because, like, oh my gosh. but also they don't turn very well.
No, I imagine not.
They don't. So I'm going and I was like, please put me in the back because I'm very slow.
Hmm.
And they obviously didn't put me in the back. So I'm going and there's people behind me and I'm just like, please pass me, please pass me. And they pass by so fast. Like,
Hmm.
holy crap.
So you were just like the grandma on the track, like, oh
I'm
my
like, go
God.
away from me, please. I like pull over to the side, but still
Yeah.
going. But like, please pass. For the love of God, go by.
Okay. How many
Scary.
people did you go with?
It was just myself and one other, and we had
Oh, okay.
lots of fun. Definitely have to go back and repeat it. But they do, they have a zero, they serve alcohol there, but they have a zero tolerance policy for alcohol when you're go-karting. So
Okay.
the
So
second
go kart
you get,
first, then.
yeah, the second that they put the wristband on you,
Hmm.
if you go order alcohol, they cut it off and you don't get a wristband again the rest of the evening
That's good.
at all.
That's actually
So
really good that they monitor it that closely.
yeah, they're very much like, no, you're not allowed to do this. This is
Hmm.
not a thing. Because then if you buy alcohol and then try to go for another race, they're like, no, you drank. Go away. So
So is it like a pass where you can do all the activities, or do you have to pay for each thing?
you have to
Ah,
pay for each thing. And it's
or
basically $20 a thing, 20
okay,
to $25 a thing. So $20 for, mini golf or for an hour of bowling or whatever. But for the racing, you can only buy it in a pack of two minimum, and it's
okay.
$56.
For like
And
for two people, pack of two,
nope,
or 2 hours?
nope, for two races, you get two
Oh.
races that are a total of 4 minutes,
Oh.
and you're paying $26 a race.
Well, that kind of sucks.
And then also, it's not back to back. It's like you get one, and then 40 minutes later, you get your second race.
Oh, so that you go spend money doing another activity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
while you
of course.
wait. Yeah,
Because you can't go drink alcohol. I mean, you
no.
could go have something else, I guess.
Yeah,
And it's
so their
probably
food wasn't,
expensive food and stuff.
yeah, the food wasn't bad, and then
Oh.
played like a bunch of games and stuff.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if you won, I'm assuming, I think it was like 150,000 tickets or 200,000, you got a PlayStation 5,
Ooh,
but
200,000 tickets, probably a lot.
uh, probably a lot. But I think it
Calm
would be
down.
fun, you pay for the two races and then you also do like a round of laser tag or you do like the races, mini golf and something else. So,
It's the other activities are only like 20 bucks each. It's not bad.
no,
Especially if
it's
you do
not.
something that takes some time, like mini golf is a slow thing. You
Oh
can
yeah.
take up a lot of time. But that much money for just two races, I understand why, because like they can only have so many people at a time and they have to stagger it. But
That and it's such a big building. Like it's a warehouse that they
yeah,
converted and the tracks are just massive. So I do understand that the rent there and probably just the utilities to run everything is a lot.
yeah.
So, yeah. But
Okay.
definitely
I
would
always
recommend.
heard,
Very
yeah, I always heard their ads in Edmonton on the
yeah.
radio.
Like I know that the one in Edmonton I think was outdoors or they had two.
Oh,
They had one that was indoor and one that was outdoor. Because I remember seeing it when I would drive by in like the industrial area. It was over there. I forget exactly
they're
where, but it
like
was
way, like close-ish to Millwoods, but not in Millwoods, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And that was
I remember seeing a
outside.
giant warehouse there though with the name on it, I thought
Mm,
too. So maybe they have like
yeah.
an outside track and an inside. I
Hmm.
don't know. Because in a city
Yeah.
like Edmonton, you gotta have it indoors most of the time. Like
Well, I mean, like, come on, winter is what, like 6, 7 months?
sometimes eight.
Unless, right? Unless you want to just function for a few months every year, you kind of got to have an inside thing. But yeah, it was lots of fun. I
It does
enjoyed it.
sound fun. Now I want to do something like that here. But it's hot season and everything here is outside, so I think I'll wait
Yeah.
a month. It's cooking.
There's probably something. I know in Japan they have these little go-karts that look very similar to the Mario Kart ones, but they're tiny and they literally say on them not associated with Nintendo
Okay. Yeah, you
for
have to.
licensing.
God, Nintendo is so litigious.
Yeah. So,
Um, yeah, I mean, Thailand, there are some indoor things in Thailand, like mostly it'll be connected to malls. So the malls will all have
mm,
something like big and fancy inside of each one that you can do. The malls here are like fucking insane. You've seen malls in Asia.
yeah,
It's like that here too. But that's where the rich people go. So all of
yeah,
those activities are very expensive. So if I want to go do like a reasonably priced activity, it will be outdoors.
yeah.
Um, we have one aquarium, apparently only one aquarium in Bangkok, which is pretty crazy for a city this big. And
Right?
I've never went. It is in a mall, and it's like 1,000 baht per person to get in, which is more than the Thai minimum wage for 3 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, I think
Wow.
it's more than that. I think for Thai people, because usually when you go to activities here, especially if it's something like an attraction, Thai people get a different price from foreigners,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So when I go to the snake farm, which I love, it's one of my favorite things to do in Bangkok. The snake farm's so cool. Uh, Thai people only pay like 40 baht, and then I have to
Okay.
pay 200.
Yeah.
It's a big difference, but it keeps it affordable for Thai people. I am pretty sure this aquarium is still like 800 for Thai people, and it might be over 1,000 for foreigners.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like I've heard it's good, but I'm kind of, I'm trying not to live expensively. So it's like a normal Canadian price for a ticket somewhere, like
Yeah.
40 to $50 or something like that. And I'm like, that's a lot of money here. Like, I can eat, I'm in the most expensive area of Bangkok, apparently. And I can eat right by my house for 50 or 60 baht for a whole meal.
Dang.
And this is 1,000, right? To put it in perspective, it's like,
Yeah. That's a
that's a
lot.
lot of meals. Yeah. So I just, yeah, I'd like to do more activities for sure and look at more stuff, especially, now that I'm in a relationship and I'm like, I want to do stuff together. But I'd rather find reasonably priced things, and those will probably be outside. And it is the sun attacks you at this time of year. It just attacks you. So,
No. I'm good. I'll stay inside with my pale ass.
hmm I'm acting like a Thai person now because most of the Farang go out in the sunshine all the time, right? We're tourists. We love the sun. Most tourists are
Mm.
like, when you go to a tropical country, they're out sunbathing and they're cooking their skin and they look like fried chicken.
Nope.
But I'm in that, I burn. And I'm just not like, I'm not scared of the sun. It doesn't hurt me, but I don't sunbathe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, but Thai people take it to another level, right? Like they
Hmm.
just don't go outside in the
No.
sun. And if they do,
No.
they cover their whole bodies, like the whole thing, like
That's what
fucking
I
solid
do.
rods, everything. Yeah.
I do all the things.
Mhm.
All the
Yeah.
sunblock, hats, sleeves.
Yeah. Everything. The only thing
Hmm.
I don't get is that they'll wear all black all the
Yeah,
time
that's
and do that.
weird.
Like, white is an option. Why are you cooking yourselves? But it's very interesting. I think they're just not as heat sensitive as we
Hmm.
are, but they're more sun sensitive. It's strange because I was talking to my boyfriend about this because I don't understand why he wears all black and like hoodies
Hmm.
in the heat outside, like black hoodies. And I'm like, and he recommends that I wear, and most of my all of my long sleeve shirts almost are black or a dark color, and I'm like, "I can't wear these out on a hot day, I will cook. They're
Yeah.
too dark. I will feel
Yeah.
so sick. I'm better off slathering on sunscreen instead of wearing that, especially
That
black."
or like get a white or like a light pastel or a light gray
Yeah, but
something.
I don't have that right now,
Yeah.
right? So it's just like I tried to explain to him I can't. And we ended up having this discussion back and forth a few times because he's worried, and it's not like he's trying to keep me pale. It
Mm,
turns out that the sun hurts his skin even when it's not burning
fair.
him. Like the sun on he's like it feels like needles and pinpricking all over his skin. And I'm
Oh.
like, that sounds like a sun allergy. I've met people like that.
Yeah.
But then he talks about it, he's like, "This is really common for Thai people," and we talk about it all the time, how, like, we get this, like, when the sun is really strong and hitting us, it hurts. It's not a sunburn, but it hurts. And I'm like, "Oh, shit. I wonder if, Thai people from living here for so long have developed, like, more of a, like, aversion, like, a bodily reaction to, like, 'Hey, get out of the sun, it's going to kill you,' right?"
Maybe.
Maybe, but not as heat sensitive. Because again, if they were as heat sensitive as me, they'd be dead, because if I wore what they wear in the sun, I would actually have to go to the hospital
Oh, you'd probably get like heat stroke so easy.
immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
so much. Like, just, like, actually hoodies,
Mm.
like, black hoodies in, like, 40-degree direct Thailand sun.
No, that's too that I'd rather just get like a white sheer thing or something. Something that oh, sounds
Yeah,
terrible.
I don't
Or
it boggles my mind.
or like cotton because cotton is so breathable, but it still would protect your skin. I mean,
My
it's not
boyfriend is
soft.
wearing, like, a thick ass hoodie. I don't know if it's cotton or not, but it's insulated. It's thick.
Yeah, probably not cotton. No.
Yeah, I don't the probably most Thai people, they can't afford just pure cotton anyway, right? Like, it's going to be a
Yeah.
synthetic. So, I I have come to the realization that our bodies are very different, and that to them, the sun is worse than the heat, and to me, the heat is worse than the sun, so very interesting.
Hi. Oh, happy kitties. Oh, I'm surrounded by pussy.
You are. Oh my god, you're drowning in it.
I am. I just need the
My
little
night
Ren to come over, but she won't.
I mean, one of mine keeps trying to get up here with me, but that's because he's angry that I'm not in bed. So he
Fair.
can shut up. He is just judging me right now.
That's this one. He gets mad if I'm not in bed by a specific time. Even if I'm not,
Mhm.
if we're like reading a book or watching a movie or something, as long as we're in bed at a
Yeah.
specific time, then he's happy and he can lay in bed and fall asleep.
Yeah. The problem with mine is that time is not set. It's just
Mm.
like, so if I'm normally going to bed, because lately I've been out of school, so I've been going to bed at like 4 a.m.,
Oh,
which is my
Jesus.
natural rhythm. That's what I like. So he'll get used to that. But then if I have one day where I go to bed at like 1, suddenly the next day he's like, "It's bedtime. It's bedtime." By 1, I'm like, it was 1 day," and he adjusted. He craves the bed.
Craves the cuddles.
Yeah, that's what it is. He wants me to be in bed and cuddling him all day. Okay, now my story time. I have been dealing with an unfortunate bout of PTSD brain the last week,
Yep.
due to a very stupid fucking thing that happened. So I, to preface, I went through a very, very traumatic experience in Canada a couple years ago. I definitely have unresolved PTSD from that. And I am realizing how much I have because this completely unrelated thing just happened to me. And it's brought out a bunch of memories from that moment, even though they have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
So it's been like a thing for me of like, oh, I have PTSD from this, and I'm living with this PTSD brain, which is unfortunately like extremely reactive. and just
Mm.
angry and frustrated and unable to get things done and just it's not good.
Mhm.
Um, and it's causing like a lot of negative thoughts and it's very bad and I don't like it.
Yep.
Um, so I was supposed to be in Singapore right now.
Mm.
Shocking, I'm not in my apartment. I did not transport my apartment to Singapore. This is Bangkok.
Terrible.
So Singapore is like they don't fucking play around, right? Like
Mhm.
they might have the record for the most amount of people denied from a country at every day. I don't know, maybe not,
Mhm.
but they deny just an extraordinary amount of people. And they do it through this like automated system that just flags you based on whatever the Singapore government does not really release why, right?
Ah, okay.
And their immigration is like automated. So when you arrive and do your passport control, you get denied by a robot. It's not even a person. You can't explain yourself. You
Mhm.
don't even really get asked questions. It's just like, oh, you can't come in today. Okay, bye. And so I got denied entering Singapore.
Mhm.
And I was very utterly confused because I didn't ever do anything wrong in Singapore. And I was wondering if I overstayed last time on my visa and I was so confused. So after the little robot denies you, you then
Yeah.
get a human who leads you off and then you sit down and you wait for a human to ask you the questions where I assume it's like I thought it would be like they ask you questions and maybe let you in or there's something I didn't know I was getting denied, right? So I didn't know what the hell is going on. And the only question the immigration officer or whoever it was, security officer, asks me is, how long are you staying in Singapore?
Yeah.
And I said 15 days. And they were like, okay, you've been denied entry today, but you can appeal that when you get home. And I'm like, what? Why? And they're like, "Oh, we don't know that. The automatic system does that. You have to find out when you appeal later." And I'm like, "Huh? Like a what do you mean?" You know?
You're like, "That makes no sense. I thought I'm allowed to be here for this long, not that long."
As a Canadian, I'm supposed to be allowed 30 days,
Yeah.
which is why I was confused, but I thought maybe last time cuz then I'm thinking the whole time I'm like, "What did I do?" And then I thought last time I might have listed that I was leaving in 2 weeks, but I actually stayed for 15 or 16 days, right?
Okay.
I was thinking like, "Oh, maybe I clocked an overstay because maybe it's not just, oh, you're allowed 30 days. Maybe it's if you tell immigration this amount of days,
Mhm.
they take that like super, super seriously." So like, God, that must be it. And then I have to go through the whole process of waiting, like they take you to the special waiting area and blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah, blah, and you have to wait for the specific flight home that they book for you. And that special waiting area is airport prison, by the way. They don't call it that, and no one will call it that, but that's what it is. It's a fucking prison. And so, and it was
Fun.
full of people, people coming and going. And there was probably a constant of 40 to 50 people in there, all getting like sent at
Wow.
all different hours. And some of those people are staying long term. They have to stay multiple days. So there's like dorms with horrible little cots, and if you have to stay overnight, you get assigned a pillow and a blanket and stuff. They have structured meal times. They have allowed phone times, which is like three 3-hour blocks in the day, like morning, afternoon, and evening. You're allowed your phone 3 hours each. But if you use your phone, you have to go to the specialty phone area. The men seemed to be allowed to use their phone in their dorm room, but the women had to sit on the floor. There's no couches or anything. There's no chairs where the women had to sit kind of behind this like black screen thing where it faced the opening faced the desk so the officers could see in there. And I assume that's to prevent like video calling. Like I don't know. I assume it's I don't know, but they also put stickers over your camera, and if you remove that, you get in big trouble. I don't you're supposed to just only text or call people. There's no video chatting allowed.
Weird.
I it was weird, and then yeah, there's, like, structured meal time, so the only time you get a bottle of water and, like, food is at mealtime, which I passed on because luckily my flight was, like, scheduled to leave about 2 hours after
Mhm.
dinner, and I was like, "I don't want your weird dinner," like, I was so stressed out when I got denied, like, a first person I text obviously is my boyfriend, and so
Yeah,
he rushes into Bangkok to meet me at the airport to pick me up because he's like, "Oh my god, like, what happened?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know what happened, but I'm coming
right?
home." And bless his heart, he's the sweetest man in the world. He got to the airport, like, 3 hours before my flight was scheduled to arrive, and then it was delayed, so 4 hours before my flight arrived, and I kept telling him, You can wait. You can wait at my
Yeah.
house. Like, my friend is staying there and watching the animals. You can hang out with him and where there's a bathroom and stuff, you know? Like, you
Oh, there's no
can
bathroom at the
chill."
airport?
Well, I mean, you know, like, mine's cleaner and nicer, and you could shower if you want to, you know? I don't know how your day's gone, right? Like,
Fair.
uh, but he was so stressed about me. He was like, "No, no, I'll just wait at the airport for you." I'm like, very sweet, but also now I feel very bad. So
Yeah.
I thought like, "Oh, well, we'll eat when I get back to Bangkok because my flight was supposed to land at around like 10 PM,
Yeah.
10:30 PM." So I was like, "Okay, well, we'll just eat then. I'm not gonna eat their weird food." It didn't I don't know, I just didn't I felt like I was in a prison and I didn't wanna eat. I you know, like, it was not
Fair.
comfortable.
Fair.
Um, and then the real fucking scary shit happened because again, I don't know why I'm denied from Singapore. I wasn't kicked out of the country. They just
Mhm.
turn you around. They're like, "You can't come in today. Try again later." I'm like, "What?"
Right?
Turns out if that happens, because they send you back to your last port of entry, which is good because I live in Bangkok, but I have a Canadian passport. If they sent me back to Canada, I'd be fucked. So they send you back to Bangkok. It turns out Thailand's policy when you have been, like, kicked out of another country is that you might not be allowed in Thailand?
Oh,
Yeah. So,
weird.
nobody was giving me my passport back. So, I didn't have my passport, obviously, while I'm in the Singapore airport. The authorities keep it until you leave. But
Mhm.
then the flight wouldn't give me my passport back, and they wouldn't tell me why. They're just like, "You get it later, you get it later." And I'm sure that's their policy to prevent you from freaking out, but I didn't
I'm
know
sorry,
what.
but you keeping my passport is making me freak out.
I didn't even know if it was on the plane, right? Like, they didn't
Right?
show me it, and I kinda wanted to demand it and be like, "Hey, can you at least show me you have it? Because I haven't seen my passport.
Right?
Like, what happens if you forgot that? Like, that's got my student visa and everything in it, right?" And I'm just like,
Mhm.
so I was just thinking their policy was probably that once you arrive in the country, you get it back. They just wait until you're on that soil, and then you get it back.
Mm.
But once I arrived and I asked them, they're like, "Oh, it's with the ground crew. Go and ask." So I go downstairs and there's a lady there who has my passport in this like plastic locked container, like clear
Okay.
plastic. And I'm just like, "That's weird, but maybe to keep it safe." And I'm like, "Hi, you have my passport?" She's like, "Okay, follow me." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I still don't know what's going on. I
No.
live in this country. What's happening? I don't even know what happened in Singapore. I've had a very stressful day. I was in prison and I did not eat." Like, I follow her for a little bit and then finally I'm like, "Well, when do I get my passport back?" And that's when she drops on me, "Oh, you might not be allowed in Thailand." And I'm like, "What? I live here."
Right?
So I'm like, "What do you mean? I have a student visa. I have a year lease on my condo. I have a Thai boyfriend who's waiting for me at the airport already."
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, you'll have to tell immigration all of that then." And I'm like, "It's in my passport, my student visa. It's not
Right?
just like stamped on, it is a physical piece of paper that is clipped onto the visa section of my passport. So just holding my passport and glancing at it, you can see a paper clip with the big blue fucking visa paper stuck there."
Mhm.
None of them bothered to look in it.
Okay.
Yeah, none of them
Okay.
looked in it, Jake. He just like walks by underneath, looks up at me and just goes, "Meh." Like, So, like, I don't know what's happening, and then I have an anxiety and panic disorder.
Yep.
And I already have had a very stressful day. I've lost money on my flight and my first hotel and stuff, right? And like, I don't know what's going on. And I was in a weird prison that made me very uncomfortable around a bunch of people that made me very uncomfortable. And I wasn't enjoying it and I didn't know what was happening. And so I'm just not in a great headspace. And I remained calm through the whole thing in Singapore because I was mostly just confused.
Mhm.
And every time I was allowed to have my phone, I was just nonstop Googling, like, why did I get banned from Singapore? And, like, not banned, but like, why was it like just looking for people giving reasons?
Yeah.
Because no. And so anyway, she takes me to the special Thai immigration office in the airport, and there's like the room with all the officers in it, but they sit you outside of that room so you can see like there's a glass and you can see them, but
Mhm.
can't hear them. So then they come out and they start asking me a bunch of questions in Thai because I have a student visa
Yep.
for Thai language.
Yep.
So that was terrifying because, like, my Thai is very conversational. I haven't even lived here for a year. Like, that was luckily they asked me questions I was able to answer in Thai,
Mhm.
but they're also asking me in English too to explain like why were you kicked out of Singapore? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know? And I'm like, I mean, I don't know.
They didn't say. They just said,
Yeah.
not today.
Yeah. Like my only thought, and I told them my thought is that I might have accidentally overstayed by 1 or 2 days last time in
Mm.
January when I went.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. And but what grinds my gears here? A few things. Because another thing they were asking me is like, well, how long were you in Singapore before they kicked you out? And I'm like, I wasn't actually kicked out. Right? Like, I was not allowed to enter. I did
Yeah.
not technically enter Singapore. I was just turned around.
Yeah.
But what bothers me about these 2 questions is, number 1, you have my passport. You can see when I left Thailand, which was this morning.
Yep.
What do you mean, how long was I in Singapore? I had to get, like, a re-entry, permit stamp on my passport so I could even re-enter on my student visa that I had to pay for this morning. That is all in my passport. You think I'm gonna be like, "I was there for 2 weeks," like, mad by
Oh,
magic? So that also what bothers me is like, okay, Thailand has this policy where, like, I don't know if it works with every country if you're kicked out or if it's specific to
mm,
certain ones, and Singapore is one of them, but they have this policy where if you're denied entry to a country, you might not be allowed into Thailand, okay? I
yeah.
get that. I get why they would have that. That's fair. But Singapore denies like an metric fuck ton of people every
Mm.
single day, which means they are dealing with a bunch of people regularly coming back through Bangkok.
Yep.
How can they not know that Singapore doesn't tell you, right?
Yeah. That's weird. Like,
Because right? If they were just trying to get information out of me, that typical tactic of like, "Oh, why were you to see if you give them something?"
yeah.
That I understand. But they looked confused that I didn't know. The look on their faces wasn't suspicious, wasn't cop stuff. It was just like, "What do you mean you don't know?" And I'm like, "I don't know anything. I don't know what's happening right now." Like,
Yeah. I was just
so
told, nah, try again later.
oh, that's it. So I'm getting more and more stressed because I don't know what's going on. Because they come and ask me some questions and they're not like rude, but they're not polite, right? They're
Yeah.
just kind of they're they're more polite than American or Canadian would be. I will say that.
Okay. Yeah.
If this was a Canadian officer, I would be like, he was the nicest ever. But in Thailand, it was very flat. But and then they go back and they talk with each other. And luckily, I had also brought because my student visa technically expires May 6th.
Okay.
Yeah, May 6th. So I have to reset it. I have to leave the country, come back as a tourist, and reapply for my next one because when I move to the next level of Thai, you can't just transfer. You have to go back, reset, reapply. It's just a
For the
thing.
next level of schooling?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
just how it works for some reason. Very annoying. So I was worried they were going to be like, oh, well, your student visa is only 3 more weeks, you
Mhm.
know? But I was very lucky. I had brought with me my receipt for the deposit for my next course. So I
Okay,
had the
yeah.
letter from the school and the receipt being like, yeah, she's enrolling in the next course. We just don't have the exact start date yet.
Mhm.
So I was able to provide them that. I was able to provide them with the it's called a TM30, and that's the registry of where you live in Thailand as a foreigner. So I was able to provide them that from my place, my 1 year
Yeah.
lease. And also, turns out in Thailand, if you are dating a Thai person, that is a positive for you trying to
Oh.
get into the country in this situation. As a
You're like, "My
Westerner, that's
boyfriend's just he's outside, you can bring him in."
yeah, like yeah, that is an actual positive, and I am used to Western countries where that's a negative, right? Like, if you try to
Yeah,
get into America and they find out you're dating an American, they will ban you so quick. They will not,
'cause
even
they're
before the current political situation,
wow.
they will not
Yeah.
let you in. Mhm. And Canada's weird about that too. They're like, you're dating a Canadian. They don't like that. They're worried you're going to come and stay. But in Thailand, they're like, oh, you're dating a Thai person. We must let you in. We cannot get in the way of love, right?
Aw,
It's
nice.
actually a positive. So I was like, oh my god. So when I'm like, my boyfriend's waiting for me, and they're like, is he Thai? I'm like, yeah, he's Thai. I'm like, they're like, oh, okay. And so obviously they were going to let me in anyway. I think
Yeah.
because I have a student visa. And I didn't I didn't do no crimes, like I didn't
Oh,
do anything. And
you
I've
just
done
yeah.
everything in Thailand 100% correct. I haven't faked my visa. I haven't done anything. I've attended all my classes. Yeah, I'm not cheating the system at all.
No.
But the stress, especially when they're in a different room and I don't know what's going on and all I've been told is you might not be allowed in and I've had a very stressful day and I have a panic disorder and like worst case scenarios are bubbling up in my mind and I'm just like freaking out and thinking like what happens like my pets are here like what do I do? I
Right?
don't know what to do. Like it was horrible and I started crying. Like I wasn't full bawling but tears were like
Yeah.
coming because I couldn't. I was so worried. And then when they decide you are fine and they're going to let you in, they don't tell you that. They don't tell
Oh,
you that.
that's
They just
fun.
Yeah, they just assume you've picked it up through osmosis or something, that you're fine and you're allowed in, I guess, because they wave me into the room. And also funny little culture difference, because how Thai people apparently wave you to come in is they go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. And so I
Yeah.
thought they were saying get down because they just look over and they're like, and it looks like they're being like get down. So I'm like, get down? And they're like, no, like, so I'm like,
Come. Come.
get it. Yeah. So then
Yeah.
they do the fingerprints. Like, oh no, they didn't even take my fingerprints that time. Normally they do a fingerprint and face and every time you
Okay.
come into Thailand, but they just took the photo of my face and then went like, okay, you can go back out. And then I sit down, I'm like, was that good? Was that bad? They took a photo of me. I don't know. They didn't do anything else. And then the first girl who like walked me all the way in before this takes me out, and I've probably been there for 30 minutes, maybe less. I don't think more. I
Yeah.
think because the stress makes it weird, but I think 20 to 30 tops. I was there.
Okay.
So then she starts leading me back out, and she didn't tell me I'm good. She's walking me out. She's still holding my passport. And so we're just walking down the hallway of the airport, and I'm like, am I okay? Like, what's happening? And she's like, oh, yeah, you're okay. And I'm like, the first time I'm hearing of it.
Right?
I'm so stressed and like at my wits' end and freaking out. And so she's like, oh, you're okay. And I just have this big, like, oh my God. Oh, thank God. I didn't know. I was so scared. And so I ask her, I'm like, is this going to be a problem when I enter Thailand again next time? She's like, oh, no, no, it's fine. That is a lot of stress for
Yep.
a very nonchalant result.
Right? Like,
Like,
oh my God.
I was terrified. I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life. Like, I've had moments of fear, but I was terrified
Mm.
of, like, I might immediately right now be kicked out or not let into the country I live in that has my pets and everything I own in my apartment
Oh,
while my boyfriend is waiting for me. I've never felt such, like, what do I do? What's happening? Fear.
yeah.
And then we go
No.
through, like, the quick just quickly through passport control, and then I'm out. Like, no,
Yeah.
nothing else. And then I go out into the main area of the airport, and then it's not a big airport. DMK is not the big one, but, I still have to, like, figure out where the fuck my boyfriend is because he's like, "I'm at this." I'm like, "I don't know where that is," and
Yeah.
yeah, and then when he finally came up and hugged me, I just started crying a lot. I
Yep.
cried a lot for a long
Yep.
time. Yeah, and then I just lost a bunch of money, you know, that I'm like, "What the fuck? Okay." So I was like, "Hey, I wanna save some money." So I didn't wanna take a Grab back from the airport because they charge this premium. It ends up being like 500 baht to take a Grab from the airport home, which is
Jesus.
$20. It's a
Yeah.
lot, right? So I was like, "Let's just take the bus to the train and, go home that way." But I didn't get out because of the flight delay and then this happening, and then I cried a lot. So we weren't, like, out of the airport until almost midnight, and the trains close at midnight, and then the bus didn't come, and then the trains
Oh
closed. So then we ended up having to take a taxi anyway, which
no.
luckily
Yeah.
she used the meter, so it was only 200, not 500.
There you
But
go.
yeah, that was so fucking scary, especially because I didn't do anything and I was just confused. And I'm like, what do you mean I can just be, I didn't do anything? And
Right?
the fact that like Singapore just randomly deciding like you're not allowed in today, okay, good luck, try again, can have this impact on my life in Thailand was like,
Yeah. I don't know what I would do if they're just like, well, you may not get into where your kitties are. I no,
right?
I can't be with my kitties. Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I like Thailand is pretty, they're pretty cool about stuff. Generally,
Yeah.
even if you get, like, told you have to leave the country, if you have a home here, they will give you, like, a time. If you really fuck up, they'll give you, like, a day to sort your shit out. But generally, like, a 7-day, I've heard for people being like, "Okay, like, you have to leave Thailand. You've stayed here too long as a tourist. We're giving you 7 days to get your home packed and your animals out."
Yeah.
So they have, like, I know there are systems in place for this. And I also logically and realistically know I was not in danger of not being allowed into Thailand. I have a student visa and I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But in that moment, that fear,
Yeah.
uncertainty, like, especially when I have a fucking panic disorder.
Oh, your brain always goes to the negative, like the worst possible thing that could happen. Like
Yeah.
always. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've got, because of the previously aforementioned extremely traumatic event I went through in Canada, I'm
Yeah.
having a lot of like really weird, like, trauma responses, and I'm having like flashbacks to that event, even though they're completely unrelated, to the point that I
Yeah.
don't feel safe in my home.
That's not
Like,
good.
I remember feeling like that after the event in Canada. I felt like that for months until I
Yeah.
moved cities. And then I
Yeah.
finally started to feel safe in my home again. And then, like, moving to Thailand, it took a few months and then the trauma kind of wore off. And I finally felt like myself again slowly over time.
Hmm.
And now this week, I'm just like, oh, just like reverted right back into very traumatized mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's sucked
Mhm.
and made me realize I have PTSD because I didn't think about it. It's not that I didn't think I had it, I didn't think about it,
Yeah.
right?
No. Not something you think about until you're huddled crying and just like, "Oh, there
Yeah.
it is."
until I'm having these crazy thoughts where I'm sitting at my computer and this voice keeps being like, somebody's going to come bust your door down. Somebody's going to bust your door down. You're not safe. You're not safe. I'm just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what? You know? Yeah.
Aw.
So I, yeah, that's been a very, it's been a terrible week.
Fair,
Mhm.
fair. Mental health and trauma definitely do not help each other.
No. And BPD and PTSD have a lot of overlap.
Mm.
So a lot of overlap with symptoms and stuff like that. And I, the past couple years, while I've been dealing with my depression and trauma that from everything I'd went through, my BPD symptoms were very, very negligible
Yeah,
compared to before because I was in such an extended depressive, like just hollow and empty state
yeah.
that I was able to like I basically I don't think I would have counted as having BPD because I wasn't having the really high highs. Right? I was
Mhm.
just in a consistent like I was
Mhm.
so fucked up.
Yeah,
So what I've been going through this week because it's the reemergence of those traumas is my BPD symptoms are more volatile, especially the anger. I'm super reactive and angry. Just every little
yeah,
thing I'm just like, everything. And I imagine now what will follow will be a period of low, the same like trauma,
yeah,
low like recovery, but I'm hoping fast because it's just a flashback of trauma and not trauma, right? It's just
yeah.
help. Yeah. So if anyone out there has any tips or anything for dealing with PTSD or
Trauma.
just advice about like even how long a flashback like that would last, or if you just have thoughts on whether this is a flashback or if you think what I just described having gone through sounds like kind of a traumatizing event, please let me know because I'm lost.
Fair, very fair. Oh, it sounds like just something happened and then it triggered all the stuff in the past that you probably haven't fully healed from or
Mhm,
fully
mhm.
dealt with because PTSD, it takes a long time to heal from. And everybody is so different with how
Yeah.
they heal, right? So, yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
I'm moving again.
She's moving to a bigger place.
Mm-hmm. In a much bigger place, completely different area, and I'm moving out of like all the expat areas. I'm going to a Thai area, getting more of a Thai price. It's still a little expensive because the big dog becomes a
Yeah,
problem no matter where I live
big dog.
here. Yeah. So the new place will be about in Canadian, it'll be I think about 340 Canadian per month
Hmm.
for a big like two-bedroom house.
Yeah, and then
Um
whatever internet and electricity and stuff
Yeah, internet
are,
shouldn't go up. Electricity should be less than here because this place is ripping me off.
yeah, oh, for sure.
But the dog is like a third of that rent cost because the rent for what I'm getting for the area and everything
Hmm.
should be without pet friendly would be about 6,000 baht per month, and
Okay.
now it's not, and it's 9,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that damn dog. She costing me like
that dog.
$100 a month just in rents.
Crazy. Is it just the size of the dog or is it just because dog?
This dog.
They don't care
Every
so much about cats or?
Well, that's the thing. It's just getting a pet-friendly place that costs that
Yeah,
much more.
gotcha.
Because if you just have cats here, you just sneak them in. Everyone does that. That's just
Oh,
how you do it. Yeah.
they don't come and check and see cat?
Nope. Nobody
Oh,
checks anything. Nobody comes in. There's no apartment like inspections. Not a thing.
your ghost man is staring at you. You can just see his eyeballs.
Whoa. Little goblin. Shiny
Your
eyeballs
little
goblin.
hair goblin.
You're a goblin. You're a gremlin goblin boy. Yes. Yeah. Even a lot of landlords here, because whole buildings will be like, no pets allowed. And a lot of
Mm.
landlords will be like, oh, if it's a cat, just sneak it in and don't tell the building. That's just how it works here. But a dog, you can't, especially a big dog. So I have to pay that pet friendly fee.
That's so funny that they're just kind of like cats, whatever, and then it's like dogs.
Well, I have to take her outside. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Like, there's no way to get around people seeing her. It's impossible.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, a little while ago, there was a guy who we assume he had a mental breakdown. So, one of the girls at my salon, she also works part time at an animal rescue.
Uh-huh.
And that specific rescue was given a half wolf, half dog, half wolf
Oh, yeah, yeah.
thing. And so this dude had, I'm going to say like 8 or 9 wolf dogs in his penthouse apartment in Calgary. He never left they lived in the penthouse apartment. They were unfixed. He was like the wolf leader, but he also considered himself a wolf. Like he actually thought he was a wolf.
Oh, okay.
Actually thought he had a mental breakdown, this poor man. He thought he was a wolf. The wolves were breeding with each other, and then they would kill the weak ones and then eat them. Like it was crazy. Uh and then he ended up dying in there. And so they had to put down the ones that they knew for sure had eaten him. And then the ones that didn't eat him, they sent to the rescue.
I have so many questions that will never be answered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
have to
the
think.
they just never left. I'm assuming they just shit on the balcony or something. Like,
Well, I mean, I've seen like videos of hoarders' houses, and I assume
yeah.
this was like that kind of a situation. But no,
Yeah.
I have questions that will never be answered. Like how and why, and many variances of those two questions. How
Yeah.
no noise complaints?
Huh?
How everything? How food? How
Oh,
poop? How pee?
smell. Why wouldn't people
How
like
no
come?
smell complaint? Yeah, how. And then
Yeah.
why penthouse apartment? Why not house? Why not countryside house? You can afford that, so you can afford like countryside house. Why
If you
know that?
right, if you can live in a penthouse downtown Vancouver,
I thought
not
it was
Vancouver,
Calgary you said.
Calgary. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
my brain. I but anyway, downtown in Canada in a penthouse apartment, you can
yeah.
afford getting a little house in buttfuck nowhere,
You could afford a decent house in buttfuck nowhere. And if you think you are a wolf, if you're having that thought, then why aren't you in the forest?
right?
In buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah. No. PTSD just comes out of nowhere, you know? And I don't even realize that I'm hitting that wall or even close to it until I'm well over it, but that's because I don't feel emotions the way other people feel emotions.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like, my emotions are very muted and they're just like down here until something terrible happens. Then it's like, bam! Then
Mm-hmm.
it's gone. There's no slow buildup or, how a lot of therapists will be like, what's the name the emotion you're feeling? I
Mm.
don't know what those are. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm like. I feel nothing. I feel kind of very robotic, unless it's very big emotions. So
Yeah, yeah.
for me, my PTSD response is very much like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, I'm no longer fine. I must hide and run away, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what's going on. And then I'm down here again, and it's just like, I'm good.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Very different from how I live my life.
I have no emotions until I'm way up here. Most of the time when you're seeing this is all masking. This is
Yeah.
this is me being like, "Oh, I need to smile because I'm interacting with other humans. I'm laughing because it's so funny." Uh, it's it's
Mhm.
not really there. Yep.
Versus I only experience the extreme emotions.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't know what the other side feels like when you describe. I don't understand how to quantify that. I don't know what that
Oh.
feels like. But I wish I did because I feel like if I did, I could practice it and it would
Mhm.
help me control the really bad BPD emotions.
No,
But
it's just
hmm,
if you looked at like, the heart thingies or any type of monitor that does that,
yeah, yeah,
mine is just flatlined all
you're
the
dead.
time. I'm flatlined and then pa. So,
Mine would
yeah.
just be fucking great. Mine's a heart attack. Doof, 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 like the whole time.
No, it's pretty. That's why living with people is sometimes hard because I'm fine. I just have no
Yeah.
emotions, resting bitch face, and then they're like, "Why don't you smile?" Oh, okay. Hi, smiling.
Meanwhile, mine is hard the other way because every little emotion is so extreme for me. So if
Mm,
something triggers me in any negative way, I'm so overreactive about it. Like if my boyfriend hurts my feelings, I'm like, why do you hate me? Like
fair.
I'm heartbroken from the smallest thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very different. I wish we could trade half.
Yeah. I'd
Be
like to
cool.
feel semi emotions instead of no emotions to all emotions. That would be
I'd
nice.
I'd like to feel semi oceans too. That would be wonderful. But like I described, living with the PTSD, the after effects of the PTSD brain for a couple years, and I just kind of lived in survival mode so much for the
Yeah.
past couple of years. My emotions were very muted, but it wasn't that my emotions were muted, it's that I was in an extremely depressive state,
Hmm.
right? I was just surviving. So I could still have like a very intense emotion at any time. It's just I was just very like I didn't get happy ones. I didn't get mania and I
Yeah.
didn't get happy ones.
Fair.
Yeah.
The only
Because
time I
the
get,
nice trade-off with BPD is usually that we have the bad emotions strong, but we also have the good ones strong. So it's like
yeah.
at least I can be very happy. We should probably wrap this up. So do you wanna send us off for the evening?
I send us away. Well, the kitties can send us away. Look at them. They've been sleeping this entire time. Hey,
Sweet
Monk.
baby.
Oh, sweet baby. But yes, as usual, come check out our Patreon. It's uncensored and uncensored and unedited mostly. Mostly unedited.
We do have to
Uh
cut out the bathroom breaks.
yes, there's no point of just sitting here looking at a screen of
Some
Kyo butt.
chairs.
Some
Yeah.
some furry butt for 5 minutes. So check out our Patreon and check out obviously our YouTube and our TikTok and our Reddit account. Join the conversation. We love to hear from you guys. All the
Mhm.
opinions. Where can we find you, Sassy?
You can find me at White Girl Panics About Stuff on like everything. It's either at White Girl Panics About Stuff or White Girl Panic everywhere. Here
Hmm,
on YouTube, I post
yeah.
travel and BPD content. What about you?
Ah, I am Seyo Clarity for my random nonsense. If you want weird questions, I'm gonna try and post like a question on TikTok every couple of days that just makes people
Oh,
go, "What the fuck is in your brain?" Because I think it's hilarious. I think it's
bees,
funny.
bees.
Bees are in my brain.
Other than that, I guess. Oh, please like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast, not just our
Oh.
privates. Our
Yeah.
privates. Thank you so much for the support.
Bye bye.